But these guys are tight. Going to be hard to run in the middle. Got to throw it.
Oh, they're coming after him, and he is intercepted.
This is not the dumb decision. I know what you're thinking. How can it not be? And I agree. I thought this move was really freaking stupid. Points are at a premium in the postseason. You've got a really good defense, and you've got a backup quarterback out there, combined with that impending weather forecast that could make the second half an absolute nightmare if you need to chase points. I'm kicking it in this spot and making it a 2-score game. Make it 10-0, force the Patriots to play from behind with a quarterback who, let's call it for what it is, despite being great in the regular season, has not been great this postseason, and go from there. However, I could at least see a universe where this could have worked. If you don't get the first down, you're still winning, and the Patriots are pinned inside the 20. If you do get the first, you're keeping the drive alive, the Pats defense is gassed, and you can score a touchdown and make the deficit even more insurmountable. Again, I don't like the call at all to go for it, and I especially don't like the play call itself, but I can at least see both sides to this argument. I get it if you wanted to go for it in this spot. You want to know the real dumb decision of this game? Here you go.
By the Heaters on this important 3rd and 12 snap. Stidham, every step's closer to a field goal.
All right, it's 4th down. You've got the ball at the 28-yard line, and it'd be a 46-yard field goal from this spot. Normally, I'd say that's an obvious kicking situation to tie the game, but obviously in these conditions, a kick like this is going to be tough, seeing as the snow is coming down hard. Fortunately, you have 2 timeouts, and I bring that up because you can make this, for all intents and purposes, an easy kick. What do I mean by that? You can call a timeout, clear the snow off the ground, make it so that your kicker is kicking on a grass surface that isn't completely blanketed by the snow, and make it so that your kicker can strike the ball on a surface that is familiar and easier to kick on. So with the Broncos sending the field goal unit out there, let's see if they decide to do just that. Oh, you're freaking kidding me. You're not taking a timeout to clear the area? You're seriously going to have him kick in the snow and not clear a path to run or a path to put the ball down? You do realize kicking in these conditions is otherwise impossible, and you're down by 3 points in the 4th quarter of a game that's going to get you to the Super Bowl, right? Why are you doing this? Sean Payton, why are you not taking a timeout to clear everything? Why are you not taking a timeout?
Earlier in this half, this to tie the game. And the kick, no good.
Of course. Welcome to Dumb Decisions. Before we break down what happened here, this whole series is about taking an in-depth look at decisions made during games that were clearly awful from the start. This isn't something to look bad in hindsight. Rather, this is something to look awful almost immediately. These are moves where your gut instinct tells you right away that there is no way this can possibly work. And sure enough, your gut instinct was smarter than that of an NFL head coach. And for this one, we're taking a look at the mind of Denver Broncos head coach, Sean Payton. I genuinely thought that if the Broncos somehow won this game with Jarrett Stidham at quarterback, that Payton punched his ticket to the Hall of Fame. Close to 200 wins, a Super Bowl ring, double-digit playoff wins, another appearance in the Super Bowl with a backup quarterback, turning 2 franchises around from the dumps. He had it going for him. And then, right on the doorstep of the Super Bowl and the Hall of Fame, he decides to coach his worst game ever. I don't know what this man was thinking throughout this game, but it seemed like every decision was the wrong one. The decision to not take a timeout before the 2-minute warning to save a couple extra seconds if you got the ball back, that was bad. The decision to go for it on 4th and 1 instead of making it a 2-score game, that didn't work. But this was his most egregious offense. 3 points ties the game, and he decided to try and get those 3 points on hard mode. He could have made this kick relatively routine, and he decided to make Will Lutz play through the fire and flames blindfolded on expert mode. This is the thing that we need to be grilling Payton for, because this was the decision that cost the Broncos a chance at the Super Bowl. So with that being said, let's take a look at why not calling a timeout to clear the snow and make the field goal easier is a really bad idea. And before anyone comes after me and says, well, come on, you're just saying that in hindsight because Lutz missed the kick, and no one in their right mind would have thought of that in real time, I stream all the games on this channel. I was live when this entire game was happening, and I said right in that moment that the Broncos needed to call a timeout immediately after Stidham got them into field goal range so that they could clear the snow off the ground. Because the 3 points and making sure you had a good chance to tie the game in these conditions were more important than the timeout, especially when you would have still had one available at your disposal, plus the 2-minute warning. Take a look at what I had to say, because I can assure you, I was losing my mind in real time, no hindsight, at how dumb Payton was being here.
But again, this is an interesting situation for Denver, because obviously you're trying to get a touchdown, but you have 2 timeouts. I bring that up because you can use a timeout to clear the snow and make it an easier kick. 3rd down. You got to be thinking. You're talking with Lutz right now on the sideline. If you don't get this, you're talking with him right now. If we clear the snow, can you hit in these conditions? He missed wide right earlier in the game. Back to his right is Beatty. Just can't lose yards here. 3 at the top of the screen. Stidham, they'll send 4. Stidham has time, going to step up and run. That's going to be a big run. It's not going to get the first, but it will make it a field goal. At the 27-yard line. 4th and 4. If I'm the Broncos, you got to consider it. You're down by 3. I would call timeout and clear the snow and tie this game. Well, they're going to kick. Again, I'm call timeout. No, take a timeout, Denver. Clear the snow. Clear, they can kick it right away off the snap off the timeout. Because now the ground's covered. Why are they not taking a timeout? The kick. Lutz, he shanked it. Why? That's so dumb on Payton's part. That is so freaking dumb on Payton's part. You take a timeout there to clear the snow. That is not a hard decision. That is not a hard decision. You take a timeout to clear the ground. The timeout is not as relevant as tying the game. That is an easy timeout decision. To clear the snow. He's kicking in a blanket of snow. The kick was blocked. I don't care. That is an easy call to take a timeout and clear the ground. Sean Payton has coached a crap game today.
Now I know what you might be thinking. Isn't that a penalty? Isn't what you're proposing illegal? Nope, not at all. There's nothing illegal about this. Yes, the NFL modified the rules in 2018 after the controversial Colts-Bills game in the snow, where if you clear the snow off of the ground, it's a 15-yard penalty. That rule is Rule 13, Section 1, Article 1, Note 3, which states, it is impermissible for the grounds crew or other team personnel to clear away snow for a try kick, field goal, punt, or kickoff. However, there is nothing about the players clearing snow. The rule prohibits you from using a snowplow or a shovel to clear the snow, or having the entire team come off of the bench to clear the snow, or having a grounds crew member come and clear the area. But if you're one of the 11 players on the field, and you want to use the body parts that God gave you, as in your hands and your feet, to clear a path and clear the ground, and make sure there's no snow on the ground, by all means, you're allowed to do that. There is nothing that is stopping you. And the fact that I knew that right off the bat, and a potential Hall of Fame coach didn't know that on the brink of going to the Super Bowl, It's insane. There is nothing illegal about this. So here's what any smart coach would have and should have done in this situation. With 5:21 left, you burn your second timeout. You then have all 11 players huddle around where the ball is going to be placed down, and you clear a path to make it as green as possible, since you'll get the time on the play clock plus the time for the timeout, however long that is, whether it's a 30-second timeout or a full TV timeout. You make it so that your kicker has to worry about absolutely nothing, and it's as if the snow is irrelevant. You clear the lane where Lutz is going to kick, and you clear the spot where the ball is going to be kicked from. Kicking the ball in the snow is really hard, and if you call the timeout and clear that path and make it so that Lutz is just kicking in nothing but greenery, you increase your chances significantly that Lutz ties the game and makes the field goal. If you want an example of what this is like, seeing as many of you watching this video are probably snowed in right now because of the storms across the entire United States, try kicking a football on the pathway from your house to the sidewalk. Then, shovel the snow off that pathway and try doing that. I can assure you, one of those is a heck of a lot easier than the other. It's just physics. But I know what you might be saying. What happens if the kick misses? Now, you're out of timeout and only have one left. However, that doesn't matter at all. It's the same exact result. Before, you were kicking the field goal with 5:25 left. If you miss the kick, the Patriots get it back with roughly 5:20 left and with you only having one timeout. However, if you don't take the timeout because it's a running clock and you're not doing a fire drill field goal situation and you have to make those substitutions, you're kicking the field goal after taking 35 seconds off the play clock. So by the time you kick it, the Patriots get it back with roughly 4:40 left and you having two timeouts. Having 5:20 and one timeout versus having 4:40 and two timeouts when the other team gets the ball back and just wants to burn as much clock as possible is literally the exact same thing. The time is exactly the same. If the Pats go 3 and out and run it all 3 times, and you decide to burn all your timeouts available to get it back as quickly as possible, you're getting it back in both scenarios with roughly 3:40 to go, since the play clock is 40 seconds. So there is literally no risk to calling a timeout here to clear the ground. If you clear the ground, you make it an easier field goal. If you don't clear the ground, you make it an exponentially harder field goal. If you clear the ground and miss the kick after calling a timeout, a 3 and out gives you the ball back with about 3:40 left. If you don't clear the ground and miss the kick, a 3 and out gives you the ball back with about 3:40 left. Sean Payton valued the timeout for some reason because it saved an extra second or two, hypothetically, instead of valuing the 3 points that could literally tie you the ball game. No one asked Coach Payton about the decision to not take a timeout to clear the ground after the game was done, which I'm not surprised by, seeing as all the talk centered around the earlier 4th down decision from the second quarter, the elements, and Jared Stidham. But this was the moment they officially lost the game. This was the point of no return. It's not the dumbest field goal in the history of the AFC Championship. The San Diego Chargers trying a kick from over 50 yards out in the Freezer Bowl with Wolf Benershka against the Cincinnati Bengals will forever be the king of that, and the crown jewel for horrible field goal decisions in the AFC Championship. And you can learn more about that by clicking the card in the upper right corner. But this might be number 2. Again, taking the points is out of the game, no problem with it. But when you've got a chance to make it an easier field goal, and it comes at no cost to you whatsoever, and you just decide to bypass that in a situation that seems so blatantly obvious, you need to reevaluate everything. So what did we learn from all this? It's simple. Don't have your kicker try a field goal in a blizzard if you can clear the ground to make him not have to do that. How is that so hard? How is that such a hard concept to understand? If you have two options, and one option is to kick on snow, and the other option is to kick on grass, and your name is not Elsa, or Yeti, or Frosty the freaking Snowman, then you should not, under any circumstances, pick the first option. Congratulations, Sean Payton. You picked the worst day of your life to suck. You just cost your team a chance at the Super Bowl. Because when all these elements are in play, you can't exactly be surprised when this play backfires. Talk about a dumb decision. Check out our live streaming schedule for the next few days. We're live every single day on this channel, whether we're covering a sporting event or playing GeoGuessr or just taking your requests. So make sure you like and subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss a single time that we go live and so that you can join this community. Also, thanks to all our members and our Patreon supporters who get exclusive perks like their name at the end of each video, members-only Q&A streams, and cool emojis to use on videos and during streams. See how you can join this community and become a member or a Patreon member by clicking the link in the description below.